here today to roast/honor these two fine gentlemen. We have William and Robert here with us today. Or Nick and Zack, as you guys might know them as. Or the Mathis twins, or the Mathi, or Puppy! These guys have many names. Many hats. They've been in many organizations on campus. They're both Homecoming King. They're both in SGA, Springfest. These are guys, they're involved. These guys have made a positive influence on the USI campus. So we're going to pick at them, and we're going to have some fun tonight. When I first came here to USI, when I was first starting to join Sig Tall, I talked with Zack, or was it Nick? One of the two. I couldn't tell the difference between them. We had a good conversation, and then I went to a movie and I saw Zack or Nick. Couldn't tell the difference. And I think that's something that we can all relate to, how you can't tell the difference between the two of them. Thank God Zack grew that goatee. Now we can stop looking at their necks. So we're going to play a little game now. We're going to play which one's Zack and which one's Nick.
That's easy. I get on the left.
It's the chain.
So if you guys think Nick is on the left, let's hear it.
Left.
Yes.
Nick's over here, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Is Nick over here?
I don't know.
Nick, where you at? There you guys go. You're good. They look exactly.
It's like they're twins.
Zach's the one in the middle.
Well, there's one thing that these guys can do above all else, and that's fall asleep anywhere. These guys are the champs at just falling asleep in the most awkward positions. There's one story in particular of them falling asleep that's near and dear to my heart. So we were taking a trip to St. Louis, and when we got to the hotel, the three of us, we were all tuckered out. So while everybody else left, we kind of just hung out, and I was just sitting there on my phone, and I look over, and the two of them. If you guys don't know, I'm roommates with the two of them, and I walk by Zach's room some nights, and he'll just fall asleep, phone on the middle of the chest. So Matt Beaver's coined the term, the praying Mathis. So up first tonight, we have Adam Rakestraw. He's a good friend of the two of them. If you guys don't know, Adam actually has a roast of his own coming up. Rice Library, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Rice Library 0017. So if you like the stuff here, he says, you can go out next Wednesday and you can hear him get picked apart. Adam, the floor is all yours.
Hey, what's up, Nick? Zach? Bro? Dude, man, guy? This is what's known as the Mathis paradox, aka, I don't know who the fuck I'm talking to. You know how annoying it is to look on the side of their necks for that turd mark? There's another well-known Mathis paradox. It's called the typical Mathis conversation. Hey man, how was your day? It was good. Oh my God. Please stop staring at me. I know the ladies especially know this feeling. That's the last girl Zach took to date party. You know what I'm talking about. That was my Veronica text. Where you at, Mark? Right there. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I met Nick and Zach about 5 years ago backstage. Our first conversation, I remember, was them telling me they played the lamest instruments ever. Something like the oboe and the French clarinet. The whole time I was just thinking, wow, I just met the most pretentious, nerdy Castle kids ever. You know how I was right. Soon I would realize these two would evolve to be really great guys. Guys who would be in every organization possible at USI. So I guess that's pretty easy to get elected to president and vice president of everything when the conversations are pretty much like, yeah, I think I'm going to run for president. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, Zach. Honestly, Zach was SGA president for 2 years, and we all know it was rigged. You know what Zach and Hitler have in common? They both rig politics. They both hate Jews. They both have terrible facial hair. They both have questionable sexual orientation. We all seen Game of Thrones, right? Zach was more like the King Joffrey of USI. Seriously, Zach, Kim Jong-un had a higher approval rating than you. He's a dictator. Also, Zach, where's your girlfriend? It's possible that that awful facial hair is holding you back. You should really consider a clean shave like Nick. He can at least keep a girlfriend and doesn't have to drink his sorrows away every Friday night at Pistons. You know, there's a name for the Mathis fans. They're called Mathers. But only because it's politically incorrect to use the word retards. The British have a saying that captures the essence of the Mathai. It's called "deux descendants très laids." Translated, it means two very ugly offspring. You know, I'm not even convinced these two are twins. I think what happened is that their parents knew how hideous the first one was, so they tried for a second. Their parents' mistake was trying. I want to end with saying that I am everything the Mathai aren't. Gorgeous, stylish, cultured, but it's both of them combined cannot be Adam Rakestraw. But it's okay, because I would like to say these two are really great guys. And I'm lucky to have met them at USI. I can call them some of my best friends. Mathai, you have truly multiplied and taken over my heart.
Thanks, Adam. So I don't know if you guys have seen college humors, your 5 roommates you get with in college. What they are is you got your zombie, your vampire, your ghost, your alien, and your robot. Well, I have 2 right here. Zach's my vampire. Zach will come home late, stay up all night, and then sleep all day. Drinks the weirdest craft brews you'll ever see and never hear of, and just about hates the sun. Nick lives with us, I think. He pays rent, but he's never there. And when he is, he just stays to his room. Now, up next, we have Matt Beavers. Some more stories about the 2 of them.
Well, I try not to talk too long. They say it's best to leave your audience before your audience leaves you. That was a pretty interesting roast you had there, Adam. Now I know why some animals eat their offspring. I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Pretty good turnout. So, guests of honor, boys. I had the pleasure of helping start up Sigma Talk Game of Fraternity with these 2 guys. I know the fraternity wouldn't be where it was without them. They're really close friends of mine, and I love them to death. I, of course, talk about Zack and Nick Mathis. I'm about to apologize for all the things I'm about to say tonight. It's all love. So I'm going to do what the Mathis parents didn't do and give these boys a good old ass whooping. Speaking of their parents, I'm surprised when the twins were born, their parents didn't just name them copy and paste. Seriously, their mother should have just thrown them away and kept the stork. I have a theory that whenever the Mathises were born, they didn't get born one after the other. I think they kind of like fused out in the 69 position. I'll never forget the first time I met Matt, but I'm hoping the therapy will eventually work out. Zach, Nick, you guys are as pretty as a picture. I guess that's why everyone wants to hang you. There are those who appreciate the Mathis looks. I know that A's of Pizza, which is where they work, actually puts a picture of them up on the wall next to the clock, just so the employees don't have to look at them all day. And the time. The Mathises are the epitome of dark and handsome. When it's dark, they're handsome. So, if you've been to the Sick Talk Forum before, you know that we have a little bit of awards. We've got our serious awards, such as like Brother of the Year, integrity, but we also have a few gag awards. One of those gag awards, Nick won 2 years ago. That award was called the PW Award. For those who don't know what the PW stands for, it stands for Pussy Whipped. And he won that 2 years ago. And the really funny thing about that was, he was secretly really excited that he actually won that award. At all. And the award he actually got was a collar, which Carrot got to put on him, and he proudly wore it. She loved it, and he loved it. Well, I think the best story to leave off with tonight, in conclusion, is their 21st birthday. Oh my God. They don't remember it. I definitely remember it. First-hand experience. Lovely Nick over here, sitting at the table, throws back up into his fishbowl at the table. Shortly after, Zach gets up, heads to the bathroom, makes it halfway, and then just spews all over the floor, right where all these people are eating.
Good times.
We both had a solid 5 years here, and I'm also going to miss the heck out of both of you guys. It's been quite the adventure. So, love you guys, and hopefully I never get too bad.
Thanks, Matt. So up next, we have something very special, someone very special for you guys. I don't think Nick knows this, but Karen, you're up
I know he did.
So hi everybody. I am Nick's girlfriend. Everyone asks me, so which one are you dating? Have they ever switched on you? How can you tell them apart? Have you kissed both of them? And my answer is, well, I don't know. Ask them. It's literally the first month of dating Nick. I couldn't tell them apart. The car would roll up and I'm like, please be the right one. Well, actually, it's kind of funny. The way that I met Nick and Zach was actually they moved me in freshman year to Rustin. So my car pulls up, and I'm pretty sure by the story, it was Zach that came up to the car first and was like, hey, Nick, come over here and help me out. So we get up to my room. The first thing my mom says is, oh my gosh, there's 2 of them. And I'm like completely ignoring them the entire time. Nick's trying to talk to me, and I'm just like, hey, will you put this over there? So eventually, like we kept like running into each other on campus. I would talk to one, then the other, then the other, and then the other to make sure I got the right one. And then on Facebook we became friends, and Nick slipped me a message saying, hey, so yeah, I heard you were interested in SGA. Here's when the meeting is, and here's my number if you get lost. Yeah, smooth as silk. But the funny thing is that Facebook isn't the only way that Nick got a hold of me. It was the way he creeped on me before he even met me. Like a week or two before the freshmen got on campus, Nick told me the sweet little story that the guys, it was him, Lucas, and Zach, all sat in their living room playing Hot or Not with the freshman girls moving on campus. So scroll through. Like, yeah, that one's good. That one's cute. Ugh. And Nick eventually got to me. Lucas thought my eyes were too big. And Zach said, she's cute. Let's move on. So I'm glad he creeped on me. I'm glad he moved me in. And I'm glad that he invited me to that Otters game and bought me ice cream. Wait, what?
So I don't know if any of you guys have ever been over to our house, but you would be amazed to find that it is not the cleanest place in the world. And nobody would believe that. They're like, when they hear that, they're like, your house is a mess. It's like, oh yeah, the math guys, they don't throw anything away. What? They're so perfect. They don't do their dishes. They don't clean out the fridge for 3 years. I didn't know they made cottage cheese in a gallon. It was gross. Chris can attest. Up next, we have Stephen Barker, whoever that is.
So go here.
Graduate.
I work in school. You work in middle school. Those ladies, though.
Told him to wait in the truck.
Yes, as Jason was so kind to point out, most of you don't know who I am. I think the few that do are probably the Sig Tall brothers. I was a founding father as well. But the thing about Nick and Zach is I've actually known them longer, well, other than their dad, longer than anybody else in this school. We went to high school together. And I wish I had more stories for you guys from high school, but they were really weird in high school. So I didn't talk to them. They're 2 years younger than me, which makes me old as shit. And it was Nick. Nick played mellophone in the marching band. Yes, the marching band kids, believe it or not. And Zach played trombone. Trombone is an instrument I also play. So I didn't know Nick as well as I knew Zach. But I loved what these guys came to the university and did. And as soon as they got on campus, they made their presence known. I mean, they're tall, skinny, and they both look alike. It's hard to miss them. They're like the Twin Towers of USI. That's a bad way to put it, hard to miss. All we have to do is keep them away from religious extremists. We should be good. Now, we are in Indiana. That might be difficult. Now, what I know about Nick and Zach is that every single woman in this room, now let me back up. Most women understand, and women you can nod and snap, and they're both sororities. I don't even want to. But you guys can agree that that you believe most men have had some kind of fantasy about a threesome, maybe something to do with twins. Would you agree? Most men have that fantasy. Guys. Now, what you might not know is that every single room, guys, this is true. Every single woman in this room has had a fantasy about these two. Not like a sexual fantasy, just that they'll come over after a breakup and console you. That's who they are. Now, like Jason mentioned, I'm just so glad that one of them finally grew a goatee. Thank you, Nick. Finally, for growing that goatee. Now, Nick, of course, you all know Carrick, and she gave a wonderful rose. We all know that Nick is more of a ladies' man. But again, that's just because Zach is weird as shit. And involved. And the thing about Zach is, I don't think I've ever seen him sleep at night. I assume it's happened at some point in his life, but if he falls asleep, he will fall asleep on a dime. It's always during the day. So if you ever seen Zach asleep, and this isn't a joke, if you see him asleep at night, call the ambulance, please. There's something probably wrong. Now, I'm really glad I haven't been out to campus in a while. I'm really glad to see some of my brothers and people I know. A bunch of strangers I don't know. I'm always glad to meet strangers. Beavers, I've talked to Beavers a few times. You seem a little bit shorter than usual. I think it's because his ego is slowly crushing him to the ground. All right, okay, well, Jason, if you guys don't know, Jason has a bike. If he doesn't talk about it enough, he grew that damn mustache. Those mustaches are supposed to be for real bikers, not but I do want to wrap it up. I you know, I feel like I could have been meaner. I had just a few hours to think of some jokes for these guys, and I honestly, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. I tell jokes all the time. I'm really off the cuff, and I love humor, but it's so hard to make fun of these guys. Adam, you did a great job. But you know, gay people are great at everything. But I really love these guys. When I'll tell you kind of a personal story about them. When we first came to campus, most of you don't know who these guys are, but Frank and Ryan were the first two to come here recruit for Sig Call. You have them to thank for the wonderful gentlemen in here. And when I talked to them, I asked them, okay, you know, I'm interested in joining. Who else is joining on campus? And I didn't expect to hear any names I knew because it's a big campus. And they said, oh, some twins. I was like, tall and skinny? Like, yeah. I'm like, I said, weird eyes like the Mathis. Yeah, that's them. I was like, the Mathis twins. They're like, oh, yes. I was like, yeah, we call them the Math Thigh. They're like, really? I was like, yeah, it's like octopi, you know? Because between the two of them, they have 8 limbs. And if you startle them, they'll squirt ink and swim away with it. But I heard their names, and I knew that I was going to join, and I knew I was going to get them to join because their potential. I mean, they've done so much for this campus, but I honestly think that their potential can only push them even higher. And I can't wait to see what they do after they graduate. And I sincerely, from all my heart, I love you guys. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming out tonight. I think that's all we have. Oh, sorry, Christian. I didn't see you down there.
He's short. Yeah.
Really mean, Jason. I may be really short, but I compensate with really long speeches, so I hope you guys are ready for that. I'm just kidding. Yay! First off, I really want to apologize to everybody tonight if I stumbled through some of these note cards. My dyslexia has really hit an all-time owl recently. And someone explain that to Matt Beavers real quick. Somebody explain to Matt Beavers what dyslexia is real quick, and we'll be able to move on. I was actually really nervous to roast the Mathis twins because I couldn't think of many negative things to say. And then I sat down and actually thought, and I was like, okay, this is going to be really fun. So I'll never forget, Matt kind of did it earlier, really the first time I went out with the Mathis twins, which the first time they really drank was on their 21st birthday. And I'm honestly hoping that the therapy I'm in can get me through that experience, because I have never seen so much vomit, and I'm working on high school, so this is really, what can you say about these guys besides, honestly, they're skinny as shit? I mean, it literally takes 2 of them to cast a full shadow. I mean, seriously, guys, the Olsen twins called, they want their eating disorder back. Oh, eating disorders are funny. I'm really too afraid to insult them too much today because I'm afraid I'm going to have to fight one of them and I might get a paper cut. Oh my gosh. They were literally so skinny, their mother actually enjoyed giving birth to them. They are literally the only 2 people that can make skinny jeans look like bell-bottom jeans. You know, a lot of people think when it comes to the Mathis twins, it's really hard to tell them apart. I honestly have never had that problem. I mean, Zach's the one that looks like a cat, has camped on his face for a couple days. And Nick's the one with the 100-pound tumor attached to his side. I think the doctors diagnosed that as carrot. honestly, I had to be nice for a little bit too. They are some of the nicest and most influential guys I've ever met. Literally, can you find somebody more influential on this campus? Especially when it comes to the big ideas. So like, literally, you take one look at them, and you're automatically for abortion. Abortion joke and 9/11 jokes. I'm glad Trish isn't here. Trish said we had 5 F words to use tonight, and Adam Rexall used all of them in like his first opening line. So can't say fuck anymore tonight. The Mathis twins are both the kind of guys that always have their ear to the ground. But enough about their drinking problems. If I ever had twins, I think I would really use one of them for spare parts. And when you look at these two, it's pretty easy to tell which one is used for the spare parts. I'll let you guys think about that one. Honestly, I was actually told to come up here and say all nice things, so sorry I kind of went off and roasted you guys a little bit. But we're getting near the end of the roast tonight, and I really want you guys to really take a minute to really think about just what these two guys mean to this university. I mean, can you really think of what USI would look like if these two weren't here? All they've done for this campus, all they've been involved in, I really can't think of two harder workers. From Sigma Tau Gamma point, when I was president, I literally could go to either of these two guys and they would do anything for me or anything for this fraternity. And I know that it's that way when it comes to Spring Fest, and I definitely know it's that way when it comes to SGA. This university is going to lose a lot when they're gone next year. So guys, thank you for being such good sports tonight. We really appreciate it. I hope everybody had a good time. We're not done yet though. Though we got to come up and roast them, we know some of you guys have more stories than what we could ever come up with together up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the floor up to anybody who would like to share maybe a story or a joke about these two that felt maybe they didn't have enough time to come up and kick ass like I did on roasting and wants to come up and do that. So if you have any volunteers, anybody that wants to tell a story. Eric Gottman does. Who would have fucking thought that?
On the inside.
Hey, Aaron, what's the movie tonight?
The movie night is The Invitation Game. It's right across the hall. You probably
Oh my God, shut up.
It was a rhetorical question.
No, I won't make announcements like please laugh at my expense. I'll roast myself for a second. Some fun names the guys have come up with. Ass cheese and pop. Got Venus is also a nice one that's been thrown around. Yeah, I don't know. You guys can shout them out if you want. I'm sure there's But no, my first day on this campus, I was lost as hell. And who would have fucking thought that Nick and Zach would have found me? I'm sorry, I didn't know. Okay, who would have thought? Insert the word. That Nick and Zach would help freshmen out around this campus. They were wearing the same t-shirt, Sig Tall with a yellow design, and the second time I met them, they were wearing completely confusing t-shirts. If you were a freshman like I was and you walked into the bookstore when they were both working, they had the Not Nick, Not Zach t-shirts, and it confused the hell out of anybody that saw them. Especially because they didn't have that fun facial hair on their face, or is it a caterpillar? I'm not sure. But I love these guys. Honestly, like Christian said, I've been influenced by these two way too much. Like Adam said, there's certain effects, there's certain theories, there's certain things that are tied to the Mathis twins. I came up with a fun term back freshman year that there's the Mathis effect. It's described as a student who would put their grades behind their involvement. And if you haven't noticed, their 5th round tour at USI is due to them being so damn involved. on this campus. I've kind of fallen into that same trap, following in their footsteps, getting involved with everything. SGA, APB, everything they've been involved with, I've tried to do the best I can. Honestly, these guys are more than brothers to me. They're family. Love you guys.
Thank you, Eric Gottman. I've never wanted that like music they play at the Oscars to get somebody off the stage. Hey, honestly, the meanest thing you said in your roast was saying that they influenced you. I'm just kidding, Gottman. This is not Gottman's roast. Go to the movie. Anybody else have anything they want to share? You don't have to come up here and share. You can literally just stand up and say it. Mitchell, or Katie. Katie, what do you got?
I actually have to show you guys a little something that my big did at our date party with one of our sisters. Oh God! And then a month later got engaged. So if I could just show you really fast the little dance that I had to witness.
Yeah, please,
I would love
come
to
and light
show
this.
you
We
really
love
fast.
Is Adam involved in this?
Oh gosh, it's that kind of party.
You're gonna touch it away. 4 more.
Adam Moore just had a fantasy come true, everybody. Mitchell Schnarr, you're up.
No, I don't have too much to say. It's more towards the toast of Zach and Nick. I first met Zach. He was my Camp Eagle leader, and a lot of great influence. And it was funny because as soon as I left Camp Eagle, I got a message from Nick on Facebook, saying, "Hey, I heard you, met my brother," and stuff. And I was just like so confused over who was who because I thought Zach, they looked so alike, and they did all that for me, and they got me to where I'm at today, and I have them to thank for that. One of the other things that a lot of people don't know is my mom is a full-time student here, and I think she has the biggest crush on Nick Mathis because anytime, the rare times I go home, and I'm from Evansville and still rarely go home, it's always, guess who I saw at ASIP today? I said, I don't know. And it's always Nick Mathis, And I can never tell them apart, but she always knows Nick. Guess who I saw on campus today? Nick. And I just think, I always tell my mom, like, if you see him so much, why don't you just marry him? But in all honesty, these guys, so much to thank for them. I know Christian was, getting on to Gottman for saying that they're influenced. Thank you guys. I'm glad I forgot to name kids' names.
Whoever thought Mitchell Schnarr would be more serious than Christian Ely? Anybody else? Nahal, come on down.
Tater,
I'm
tater.
genuinely excited for this. Please come down.
I don't know, Trish still isn't here, right?
Trish still isn't here. Okay, we're good.
Tater, tater.
Well, it is more about the thing that I'm going to say. It is a personal joke that Zack once told me. Fall of 2013, I had a huge crush on a girl, and like her birthday was coming up, and I wanted to give her a gift, but I didn't have any idea what to give her, so I came to Zack and then they asked her, what should I give her? Then he asked me, well, what does she like? And I didn't know that girl that well that time, but so I started creeping on Facebook. She liked. First thing I found was she liked chocolates. Second thing I found was she had a nephew, and she liked him a lot. This gentleman told me, well, everybody likes chocolate. Give her something that she will never forget. So you are saying she likes her nephew, right? make her sister pregnant. We went to St. Louis together two summers ago, and that was our St. Louis conference, and that was one of the funniest nights of that summer. And it was last night of the conference. People were going out. They were drinking, and they were so drunk that Nick passed out on the floor. And at night, it was about 3 o'clock. And if you don't know me, I snore a lot. And Nick was snoring that night too, so we had a snoring competition. Then all of a sudden, at about 3:15 or something, he woke up. He started to cuddle me in the bed. My bed was on Nick, it was Zach. Sorry.
I mean, it happens a lot.
And yeah, these are some of my funniest stories about with them. And one last thing, you two, Nick Mathis and Zack Mathis, you two are one of the reasons why I joined Sigma Tau Gamma. You have been a big influence on many of the brothers over here. Thank you for all you have done for us.
When Enoch got up here and started talking about Facebook stalking and candy and nephews, I thought it was going to get really weird and creepy really quick, and it did. Anybody else want to go tonight?
Logan Vaughn. I do not want to go.
I don't think Logan wants to go.
I got one.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Where do I start? Which one of you go the green van? That was you, okay. So, this is my first year at USI, and I'm on the phone talking to my friend. I'm like, and I don't know what Ruston is. I'm in Governor. I'm like, man, how do you get to Ruston? Like, just telling me direction. I'm like, I still don't know how to go there. I'm walking towards the library. And I see this guy just kind of like walking towards me, and of course, it's Zach. I'm like, hey man, do you know where Ruston is? He's like, yeah, I can give you a ride. And I'm like, what? No, wait. I'm looking at him because I'm like, I wouldn't give a black guy a ride now. I'm like, this guy a pedophile. So we get in the car, we get in the little minivan. I'm like, man, this is kind of sketchy. He kind of locks the doors. I'm like, oh god, oh god. And he's taking me to Ruston, and we're like talking. Maybe he's saying like a little bit tough. I'm like acting like what he does, he's telling me like. And then as he's taking me to drop me off, I promise you, I'm like, is this Rusty? He's like, yeah, he kind of looks at me like. And I look at him like. Think I was about to get raped in the car. But I just wanted to say you guys are one of the amazing people I can even say came through my life. You guys are just amazing. So just thank you for letting me.
Fawn, thank you very much for those kind words. Get outside and start parking the car again. Just kidding. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not racist. Just kidding again.
All right. I hadn't planned on saying anything, but the first time I met these guys, they were buck naked. And I'm telling you, based on the stories I'm hearing, I'm assuming you guys have probably seen them buck naked too. But we'll go back through a little life story. All of you are potty trained, right? Yeah. How many of you potty trained outdoors? The only way these guys would go take a leak was if they could go outside and pee off the deck. Now, I thought they got over it, but based on some of the stories I'm hearing, it's probably still happening. I've heard about cornfields and cops and, the whole bit. But they were extremely shy as kids. I knew something was up, 7th grade. these guys are at an award ceremony and hadn't said a word. They're real quiet. And they said, Zachary Mathis or William Mathis. I don't remember which one went first. I think it was Zach. They said, Zack Mathis. He skips across the stage. 7th grade, honor ceremony. So then Nick walks out and they said, Nick Mathis. He walks out and he does this little and goes across the stage. So we knew something was up. And then high school, of course, they got more and more involved. They came out here, and it sounds like some people know him. I'm not sure, a few of you. But couldn't say, we're extremely proud. It's been a good time. So.
I'm not going to make fun of their dad. Anything else? Well, we're actually going to let them come up and try to roast each other. But when we started really thinking about that, we're like, well, how the hell are we going to do that? Like, your mama jokes are completely off limits. Like, yeah, well, your mom's so fat. Yeah, well, your mama is so stupid. I'm sorry, the audience is a really good joke here. We gotta see. And so then we thought, okay, so mama jokes are off limits. Like, they can't call each other ugly. Like what are they going to do there? And neither of them can call the other one stupid because I'm the only one that's seen their grades. And if you had a glass house, let's just say that. But I do think they actually do want to say a little bit. You guys want to try to come up and defend yourselves? I know we've been really mean tonight. You guys want to give it a shot?
Do it.
Do it.
Pockets full of spaghetti. Be me, be Zach, be roasted.
Really prepared anything. As far as some of the stories, most of them are pretty spot on. A little context on 21st birthday. You gotta leave out the part about throwing up on Hannah Daniels. It overflows and onto her, which was looking back pretty hilarious, but
I'm so happy right now.
For my side of that, I actually threw up first. I was walking to the bathroom and I saw like this little gray thing on the ground. I thought it was a drain. Turns out it was just like a piece of metal. Threw up on there, walked over, went to the bathroom, finished. Then like 6-7 months later, I was working in the bookstore. This girl comes up and she's like, "Can you leave out this book?" or whatever. And then she looks up and she's like, "I remember you." I stood there for a second. She's like, "You threw up on me like back in May." Sorry, and then we started full price for books.
Thank you guys. You're my best friends.
How to come back from some of those burns. Those were good. Steven said something about us being like the hardest things ever, so yeah.
Stop staring.
We could yeah, that's pretty good.
Hey, buddy.
Overall, I just want to thank you guys for coming out. It's been real fun 5 years. In 5 years, Nick's turned into a grandpa, so that's pretty great. It's true about the ghost thing. I pretty much am on campus 99% of the day, go back, sleep a few minutes, and yesterday I really about 4 miles an hour in the woods. Traffic's cool. Youngest car pool today. Zach, I think, has probably paid for the on-campus Starbucks a couple times over.
They're complimenting them.
It's so nice. You should so responsible. We got to experience this university together. So, thanks everybody. At Ring Charles Rose on Wednesday, 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Group 17.
Come have fun.
Come see this hips torn down.
I'm glad Leo came.
I really couldn't have. I wanted to.